up to the plate. Okay, commitment simply means being specific on what you want. We talked about a little bit of that earlier, but when you look at houses, again, there's a picture of a house, there's a picture of trips, there's a picture of helping out for charities. So whether it's college funds, vacations, whatever. See, folks, I remember back in 1983 when I left Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, I remember being so sick and tired of taking vacations in the wintertime. Anybody relate to that? I didn't have enough seniority to get a summertime vacation. So my kids never seen what the beach looked like. They always went to the mountains. See, that just doesn't make sense to me anymore. For a grown man or a grown woman to be told when they can take vacation, where they can take vacation, how long they can stay, what they can spend while they're there. Think about all the things that we put up with, folks, and we're not willing to commit to something to change that. Okay, that's just some ideas here as far as being specific on what you're willing to give in return. How many hours a week? We talked about that. When will this time be? See, folks, when you come into something like this, you can call it network marketing, you can call it relationship marketing, you can call it whatever you want to call it. But people come in with another misconception of thinking it's okay not to do nothing today. That's not true. That's not true. We all know the definition of insanity. Continue to do what you've always done and expect different results. Ain't going to happen. Okay? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is very simple. Go get a job at McDonald's. They got a help wanted sign out there every time you go by one of them. Okay? And I promise you, they're going to give you the hours you need to be there. Am I right or am I right? They're going to say be here Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 6 to 10. Here's your job. Miss one of those days and see what happens. That sign goes up out front for quick and get ready. Meaning they're going to replace you because you didn't do what they asked you to do. Yet you come here in an opportunity that can change your life, change your legacy, change your life for your family forever and ever and again. And you say, well, I don't want to do nothing today, so I'll just wait and do it tomorrow. Hello? You've got to take it serious, folks, to achieve your goals, to achieve what you're committing to. But you can't, see, I talk to people all the time. They say, you know, I tried one of them things in 1927 and it didn't work. I'm like, no, it didn't. It won't that it didn't work. You didn't work. I don't have a problem telling people that. You didn't work. I promise you that one would have worked too if you'd have stuck it out. Okay? Coachability. This is going to kill half the room right here. Most of you are done when I get through with this one. And I hope and pray for your sake you're not. Okay? But coachability is your willingness to accept direction and listen to constructive criticism. Constructive criticism can be tough, okay? And the way I explain this to people and the way I get people to understand it is everybody sitting in this room is a direct result of their efforts at this point in their life, period, end of discussion. We've got to take responsibility for that, folks. You're where you're at because of you. It's time to quit blaming society, race, creed, color, mom, dad, brothers, uncles, cousins, all that. You know, if I got up here and told you, you know, my dad was an alcoholic too, okay? I remember running out of the house being chased with a butcher knife, okay? So, I mean, I can get up here and tell my story, right? And you can feel sorry for me. Or we can get up and go do something about it. You know what I'm saying? And I say it's time we go do something about it. What do y'all think? Anybody with me? Okay. So you're going to have to take some constructive criticism from your upline. Bottom line, folks, we know where the potholes are. We know where the bumps in the road are. We know where the curves are that you're getting ready to go off the cliff. You can either listen to us or pick yourself up out of the potholes like we did. That's why we look so rough. We've hit every pothole along the way. We know where every curve is. We went off several cliffs. We're going to prevent you from doing that if you're coachable. But so many people say, I'm coachable, just tell me what to do. And then when you say, here's what you need to do, well, I didn't know I had to do that. Have I really got to do? No, you don't really got to do that. You can keep doing what you're doing and end up with the same results, folks. So be coachable. First step to being coachable is setting your goals. Now, folks, you got to fix in your mind exactly what it is you want, whether it's money, customers, reps, health, whatever. You got to be specific with that. That's your goal. So it's your mindset first, then you put it on paper. Okay? Then you got to be specific to be dynamic when you write this stuff down. Determine what you intend to give up. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but this is the coachability part of putting your, how many of you actually have your goals written down? Okay, keep your hands up if you actually shared it with somebody that cares enough about you to hold you accountable. Y'all can't see it, but half the hands went down. That means you don't really have a goal. It's just a thought. If you miss it, it's like everything else you ever set in your life. Who cares? Who knows? Only you. And you've been fooling yourself and lying to yourself your whole life, and that's where you're at right now. Bottom line. Example here, time, money, energy, same thing we talked about. Now, you got to establish a definite date of when this is going to take place. Now, what do I mean by that? You can come to me and say, I want to make $1 million. I can advise you to go to McDonald's and get a job. I promise you, if you're in your 30s, you got 50 years of work now, you'll make $1 million. Oh, you want to make $1 million this year? Well, that's a different goal. You got to be definite. That way we can put a game plan together to help you get yours, okay? But you just can't say, I want to do this. People come in and say, I want to make a lot of money. Okay, how much is a lot of money? Right, Kenny? You hear that all the time, don't you? I want to make a lot of money. What does that mean, a lot of money? We're not specific enough. I don't know what that means, okay? Create a definite game plan and begin at once. Why? Because nobody's promised tomorrow. Each and every one of us in here, folks, and I want you to understand something. The people on this front row here, and probably some on the second row and maybe the third row, have been here since Anaheim, right? A year ago. A year ago, I want you to understand, the president and CEO, Andy McWilliams, and Mike Adams, the vice president, was standing on this stage telling us the future and things that were going to happen, and everything they've said has by far become true over and again above what they said. Am I right or am I right? Now, you're sitting here at this point. The company's positioned. The company's positioned to explode. But you can't wait around, folks. You got to begin now, I promise you. If I asked this front row right here, if Anaheim was yesterday, we'd all agree, wouldn't we? It was yesterday. And there it's coming up again. Okay, a year and 3 months later. It goes that quick. And you're going to either make it happen or you're not. But you can't just, what gets me is I know my time's getting low, but what gets me is the people putting a plan together to get ready, to get started, to get something done, to get over the hump, to get going. I'm like, just do something. You know, I mean, I've not yet figured out how to steer a parked car. It won't go anywhere. It's not doing anything. If you'll get moving, I can get you going in the right direction. They can get you going in the right direction. But you got to be moving. You got to do something. And you got to get going now. Maybe. Okay. Write them out and pretty much make sure they're clear and precise. And again, share them with somebody that's going to hold you accountable. Now, this one's important, folks. I didn't make this stuff up. It come right out of Think and Grow Rich. Page 36. I'll tell you where to find it. I'm not that smart. I'm smart enough to copy. Okay? And that's where you get where you want to be, copying the right people. Just be careful who you copy. You can follow some of these people who's going to tell you this stuff don't work. Don't listen to them, okay? But read them out twice a day, once when you go to bed and once when you get up. And it's important that you see, believe, and feel that you're already there. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. I started my business 35 years ago in a phone booth. There was 3 of us, me, myself, and I. And you couldn't have convinced me that we weren't going to be successful. You couldn't have told me that we weren't going to break out of that phone booth. You couldn't have told me we wasn't going to be millionaires. I hadn't completed yet. I'm still adding on and building stuff to my house. But 30 years ago, I went to the Biltmore and looked at that and started making my game plan and putting my plans together to build my house with everything in it that they got. And it's not even completed yet, but we've been working on it for the last 15 years. But you couldn't convince me that I wasn't going to have that. Why? Because I seen the end in mind. I began with the end in mind, folks. What does your business look like? What do you see it looking like? Is it just you? Or do you see thousands of people in your business and you up here on stage speaking to your people? You've got to have that vision. You've got to have that mindset. Credibility, this is going to kill the other half of the room. It simply means practice what you preach. And what do I mean by that? Purchase your products and approach your business with honesty and integrity. Folks, don't pull up in my driveway driving a Volkswagen trying to sell me a Bentley. It ain't going to work. And I'm telling you, if you can't get some of the products we got, I don't mean to run anybody off, but you probably ought to do something else because you don't believe. And I promise you this much. If you sit down in front of me and try to convince me to get DirecTV or Just Energy or Clear Internet or EMS or any of those products, I can look in your eyes and tell if you're a phony. I can look in your eyes, I can hear it in your voice that it ain't working and you don't own it. And I'm going to ask you, do you own it? And you're going to be awful embarrassed to start stuttering in front of me. And people come to me all the time, they say, well, how do you sponsor people? How do you get people in? How do you do it? They look in my eyes and they see somebody's home. They see it working. They see I believe. It's not fake it. It's credibility. I treat people the way I want to be treated. Okay? That's the way you run your business. Okay? So if you put these 4 things in place, folks, my time's up. If you put these 4 things in place, your mindset gets right, I guarantee you can change your life. This is a vehicle for you to plug into, but I'm telling you, it's so much more than just a vehicle. We've got so much mentorship and leadership sitting right here to help you get where you need to be. The leadership behind this stage right here, everything that's going on with this business, you are at the right place at the right time to make it happen for the rest of your life, folks. Just don't fall asleep at the wheel. Let's wake up and make something happen, okay? Thank you for your time. And with that said,